NCAA basketball totals for Tuesday, December 20th. We're going to look at 3 games on the card today. And we're going to look at the total set by oddsmakers, see if we can beat that number over or under. And also, I'm going to start, giving an opinion on these games as far as the line is concerned, on some of them, not all of them, if there's something I particularly like. I've actually been doing pretty well as far as my my spread bets, but unfortunately that's not part of the segment that I'm doing. So I'll be mentioning that from time to time. There's something I really like that I think you guys might want to take a closer look at. NBA segment is out there as well. Yesterday, bad day in both. It seems we've been doing that recently. A really good day, not yesterday, but the day before yesterday, we were 3-0 in the NBA. We were 2-1 in NCAA, and then yesterday, we didn't do well at all. So it's been kind of going like that. It's kind of up and down. Still winning record overall. We just want to increase that margin. I digress. All right, don't forget you got SBR for all the odds, all the numbers, sportsbook sign-up bonuses, all that good stuff is there at our website. So be sure to check that out. And let's just go ahead. Let's dive into the totals. Right now, let's start with Georgia Tech and Georgia. Oddsmakers have it at 132, and I'm going under. And also, oddsmakers have Georgia Tech as a small home favorite, and I like Georgia, actually. I think Georgia's going to win this game straight up. But we're going to look at the total here at 132. Now, some interesting numbers on this game. The fact that Georgia's averaging almost 73 points per ball game, and Georgia Tech is averaging 71. But oddsmakers have 132 for a reason. Neither of these teams are particularly strong percentage-wise shooting as well, and tempo's about middle of the pack as far as NCAA hoops is concerned. Also, defensive percentages, though, on the other end are solid. Both these teams could play some D. Let's take a look at Georgia. Right now, percentage-wise, they're allowing opponents to shoot 39.8% from the floor. That ranks as one of the better teams in NCAA hoops. And don't sleep on Georgia, by the way. They might be a sleeper in the SEC. That's a pretty good Georgia team right there. Then you got Georgia Tech. They're allowing opponents 39.9%. So both these teams can play some defense. So you look at their defensive percentages across the board, not bad at all. I can get into it, a lot deeper, but they rank, in the top 50 of NCAA basketball. Offensively, on the other end, not great percentages. Tempo's okay, like I already mentioned, but you got right now Georgia, they're shooting just over 31% from the floor. Not bad on their 2-point percentages, around 50%. And then you got Georgia Tech, they're shooting just 43.7% overall from the floor. That ranks outside of what would be the middle of the pack in NCAA hoops. So, again, I like Georgia to win this game, even at Georgia Tech, and I like for this to stay under that 132. All right, next one up. We're just moving right along. We got IUPUI versus Northwestern. Chris Collins did a nice job with that Northwestern team. I kind of missed the Billy Carmody days, though, of that Princeton offense. That was really fun to watch. That offense. I love their backdoor cuts and stuff like that. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So Collins is a former Duke guy. We know that. He's done a nice job with that Northwestern team. Now, Indiana. This isn't Purdue, Fort Wayne, the one that upset Indiana. This is IUPUI. This is Indianapolis. And right now, oddsmakers have this total. Let me double check it. 142.5. Yep, and I'm going over. So I looked at this one for a little bit too, and I kind of like the tempo Northwestern's been putting up. And Indianapolis, they can score a little bit. They're averaging 75.5 points per game. Northwestern's averaging 76.4. So right now, you look at that 142.5. And they're going to get there offensively. Defensively, though, you got Northwestern's done a really nice job. But they also might be a sleeper in the Big Ten. Don't sleep on Northwestern. They're playing some really, really good basketball. They've won six games in a row, with their last loss being a 4-point loss versus Notre Dame. That's a good Northwestern team. Yeah, Collins does a nice job. But they're allowing just 63.5 points per game. That's really good. That ranks 29th in the nation. Indianapolis, they're allowing 76.5. So I think Northwestern's going to go ahead. Good shooting percentages across the board. They're going to go ahead and score. And Indianapolis is not bad. I think they're going to be able to score as well. We look at some of their games recently, and they've really got up and down the floor, versus lesser competition. But, at Illinois, they put up 77. At Miami, Ohio, they put up 68. They had some really low-scoring affairs. But I look at a game like when they went to Marquette, they lost 104-79. Now, Northwestern doesn't get up and down like Marquette does, but this is a team that can score, and I think they're going to be able to do it tonight. I mean, let's look at their shooting percentages. Right now, they're shooting 38.4 from distance, and Northwestern is shooting over 45% overall. But Indianapolis, not that bad. They're shooting 44.4% from the floor. That's better than half the country, so not bad. Northwestern's a good defensive team. I think they're going to get up and down because it's the holiday time and it's time to run the floor. All right, that's not really a great analysis, but I think they're going to get there. The way the percentages work out, especially on Northwestern side, I think they're going to put up over 80. So I look for Indianapolis, probably put up. I think they could score 65. I think they can. So that gets us over that 142.5, and I like for this to go over that total. As for I don't know, back to what I was mentioning earlier about what games I'll give opinions about. This one, I don't really have one. Northwestern's a pretty heavy, well, they're like a 13-point favorite around there last time I checked. But I don't really have an opinion on that one. That line seems about right. All right, last one we got is a Creighton, Arizona State, 167.5. And I hate doing it, but I'm going over. And I hate doing it because it's huge, but these two teams could just flat out get up and down the floor. Their percentages back it up. You got Hurley at Arizona State. He likes to get up and down. Creighton, they are always, under McDermott, they've been getting up and down the floor for years. Let's look at some numbers here. Odds makers have Creighton as a -7 road favorite. Arizona State, I don't know if they can hang with that number. I have no opinion on that game either. The only game I really like today is, out of the ones I'm talking about, is Georgia getting the small number. I think they actually win. All right. Let's get some numbers here on the over. At 167.5, that's a big number. But let's look at this. We got Creighton averaging almost 90 points per game, 89.3 points per game. They're ranked 6th in the country. Arizona State, 80.7. Defensively, Arizona State's giving up 82.2 points per game. Creighton, they're giving up just 70.5. But they are at Arizona State, so I expect the Sun Devils to go ahead and score, although they're not really having a particularly good year. I think Bobby Hurley is a good coach. He definitely knows basketball, that's for sure. Another Duke guy, but defensively they've been terrible. My goodness, they're giving up 55.3% on 2-point shooting. That ranks outside of the top 300 teams in NCAA basketball. I mean, come on, Arizona State, Pac-12, you should be a little bit better than that. They rank outside of the top 300 in opponent shooting efficiency, and they rank just around 300 in opponent effective field goal percentage. And when you look at their schedule, they haven't played. Well, they've played a couple good teams. No, actually, I take that back. They've had a pretty tough schedule, so I'm going to go ahead and give them a flyer. However, that being said, they're facing a Creighton team that could just flat out score. Creighton is second in the country in shooting efficiency. They're number 1 in 3-point shooting percentage. They're going to light it up. This game's going over 160 for sure, so I'm going to go ahead and take over that 167.5. Creighton has been good defensively for the most part, but they're not, a lockdown type of defense. They want to get up and down the floor. They're allowing opponents to shoot about 48% on their 2-point shots. Pretty good overall, though, 42.3%. That is pretty decent. But we get to their tempo, and man, these guys go really, really fast. You got Arizona State averaging 63.5 attempts per game. That ranks 25th in the country. And then you got Creighton. They're getting up 62.5 attempts. They're just so efficient. Really good scoring team. And Creighton has been excellent this year. However, they have not faced the competition that Arizona State has faced. Honestly, look, you got Arizona State. They've played Purdue. I didn't think Arizona State's schedule was that tough. I had to look a little bit closer. It's been pretty tough. Purdue, Kentucky, Davidson, Northern Iowa. Those are 4 really good teams right there, especially Kentucky, of course. And then you got Creighton. They really haven't played anybody. They had a pretty tough game at Nebraska. They played Akron, who's pretty good out of the MAC, and they faced NC State. That's about it. Down the list, well, they faced Wisconsin at the beginning of the year, and they put up 79 against Wisconsin. So I think they're going to be able to score quite a bit tonight versus Arizona State. I think Arizona State's going to be able to score with them. So I'm going to go ahead and take over that 167.5. That's a huge number, but that's going to be a fun one to watch, and I think they get over. That's it. All right, quick recap of our games here. We had that Georgia Tech, 132. Seems a little bit low. It's not. I think they go under that total. Plus, I like Georgia in that game, plus the points. Actually, I like them to go ahead and pull off the minor upset. Next one up we got is Northwestern IUPUI at 142.5. I like over that total. I think they're going to get up and down. And again, I like the over with Arizona State and Creighton at 167.5. Those are our 3 NCAA picks for the totals on this Tuesday, December 20th. And I do wish you luck on your picks today.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.